Match between Sutreen and Otley. This is going to be a war. Otley has not been scoring many points in this tournament. I have a feeling this is going to be a nail-biter close to the end of the match.
And this is where you wonder what the last 24 hours were like for Otley after just a heartbreaking last-second loss to Alireza Sarlak, the talented Iranian. How does he come back and respond in a quick turnaround? It's not his first trip here, so we're about to find out with Suleiman Otley.
And thank goodness they do give him that day before the medal. In a one-day tournament, that would be very tough to come back. He has had a moment to take a deep breath, to reflect, to get himself prepared and try to let that loss go. Having to come back right away would have been too difficult.
Aryan Sutreen, he's 25 years old. He's former Russian, earned a bronze medal at the Russian Nationals 3 times before deciding to make the move to Belarus earlier this year.
And you within the rules of sport, you're allowed 1 transfer to another country. You have to wait that, I think it's a 6-month time to get your paperwork together and make sure that you're becoming a citizen of the country. Often, they're living in another country, still training with their club. So I believe many of the athletes in Belarus, right next door to Russia, are training back and forth over the border.
Chance to represent the country of Belarus, and we talked about how he just came up short at the Russian Nationals. Now here he is in these World Championships representing Belarus in a scoreless first period halfway through, and we will get a stoppage, and the activity clock gets put up on Otley.
Otley's feet and his stance real close together. He's fast-footed. When you go to attack, he's able to move his feet very quickly away. Sutreen hadn't made any strong attacks as of yet, neither has Otley. But that first passivity call, now the second, we're on the clock. And Otley, with 5 seconds to go here, looks like he's going to give up that first activity time period point.
Suleiman Otley coming off a tough Tokyo Olympic Games. He suffered a surprising loss in the opening round in Tokyo, one of the favorites. Able to put that behind him. He looked really good in the first couple of matches yesterday, especially in the quarterfinals, and it looked like he had things going his way against Sarlak of Iran until the last few moments. And little did we know at the time that was just the tip of the fuse for what Iran would pull off over the next 3 weights.
What do we call that? The mo? That momentum just started happening between the roars of the crowd and just that feeling of the team that we can do anything. When you feel invincible like Iran did yesterday, that's a special thing to have in the team.
Passivity point has been it. Low octane first period, 1-0 Belarus.
Like you said, Otley losing in the first round of the Olympic Games. And you know, one of the brutal things about our sport when you have 16 people in the bracket is that in a lot of tournaments you have that consolation round to wrestle back, to come back to get, you know, a medal or a placement, where if your person that you lost to doesn't go to the finals, you're out. If they do, then you're in the repechage, like Sutreen lost early to Sarlak. He came back and made it to this bronze medal match. But if Sarlak had a loss to Otley, Sutreen is out.
Right.
So it's a tough
hole.
Tough road. And for many, many years, there was a full consolation. And like a lot of combat sports, they would go to the repechage, where you have to follow the winner, follow the person who you lost to.
Sutreen is used to the world stage. She has been competing at the senior level since 2014, as we talked about earlier. Started with the Russian Wrestling Federation, making the move to Belarus. So he has been at senior level events across the country at some of the lesser events, but now a chance for the first time to compete here at the World Championships. So far, so good. A 1-0 lead. But now he is going to get hit. And they put him on the clock for the first time.
And I think as Otley, he wasn't upset about being the first person on the clock. But like we saw earlier today with Kyle Snyder's match, you can be put on the clock 2 times. And they're leaving enough time to see who can go on that clock. So someone's going to need to be active here as Sutreen went to that nice front headlock. 1 point on the board for Otley, so we're all tied up. But because he has the last point scored, right now he has criteria. No sudden victory overtime in this freestyle wrestling.
Clock certainly woke up Sutreen. He had the big snap down. He went to that front headlock. He was active. He was trying to push it.
And we'll see if he continues this pace without scoring, if they put Otley back on the clock, or if Otley's really active, do they put Sutreen back on the clock without a whole lot of action?
If Sutreen does what he just did a few moments ago, chances are he might get Otley back onto the clock.
What we have right now, they put Otley back on the clock with his third passivity warning.
Okay, center.
So Otley back on the clock, as they say Sutreen had picked up his pace enough.
And he really had. So good job by Belarus there to force the tempo, really dictate the call. Made the call happen, and now he's in the driver's seat. Suleiman Otley sensing that. Comes at him a little bit harder. Clock winding down as far as the activity clock. And it will be Belarus back out in front, 2-1.
1 point, right? Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Otley with a lot of weapons, watching him throughout the years. Near miss on the initial low shot, tried to hit the single, jumps back up around the head, has the overhook, driving Belarus near the edge. Good job by Sutreen to circle it back into the center.
With under 30 seconds, they can't put Sutreen back on the clock. But the referee did say you need to pick up that pace because they could give a caution in 1 if there was negative wrestling. And Otley pushing that pace now.
Otley driving hard, charging near the edge. A step out would give him the lead. Sutreen nimble, dancing, avoiding Otley, trying to plead his case. So is the Turkish corner. Clock running down. Challenge requested from Turkey, and we will wait and see. They want to flee. Challenge came in. Otley in the pursuit could just simply not track Sutreen down.
Kept that defense, grabbed the hands, backed away just enough, but didn't work to the edge of the mat, stayed out of the zone, kept his back to the center. I have not seen a challenge won in this situation.
I was just going to say that. It is tough to get a challenge on this type of situation where more of a judgment call on the referee as far as if he is eluding and avoiding.
And at the close of that match, Sutreen was pushing in and had hands.
Blue. Right.
Maybe the quickest review that you will see all week long right there. Victory to Belarus. Aryan